We're recording, sir.
What happened
You
to
can begin.
what happened to the old voice? Why this one?
This is my 40-year-old smoker voice.
Oh, okay. Well, here we are. Hello, everybody. I am Tim from Las Vegas.
I'm Sam from the Pacific Northwest. Welcome, everyone. Thank you for being here.
Yes, welcome. And here we are again with another episode of the Western Contingent, talking about what's going on and everything like that. And I just got back from Dice Tower East, and we can talk about that later. But what have you been up to, Sam?
I have been just kind of plugging along, getting back into the rhythm and enjoying that ability of just kind of hitting the stride and being comfortable as you are continuing to work and do everything that needs to get done. On Mondays, I have a kind of like a side job, a part-time job that I go and take water samples from some of the different migrant worker housing places for different fruit growers that are in the valley here. And it's something that I'm doing to help a guy that I met from doing my channel, the Flipside, and he lives a few hours north of where we are, and part of the field of systems that he has to check on for his job is down here. And for him, it's a lot of driving. Like, he will spend 5 days a week just driving around to different parts of the state. And so in order to kind of try to help him out a little bit, I offered, and he said he would love to have the help. So that's what I do. I take care of monitoring his southern water systems for him. So that's what I do on Mondays. And, it's not a whole lot. It's 5 hours, basically 5-6 hours a week. And I put about 100 miles on the car altogether. So it's not that bad, but it's fun. It gets me out of the house and gets me doing something other than content creating, which I don't know if you've ever noticed this, but when you do only content creating, it can wear on you in a number of different ways, like cabin fever. You read too many comments. You invest too much emotion into the comments. So just having a day out of the week where I am not doing any of this, is good for the psyche. You know what I mean? So we're doing that. We're getting ready to have some guests here at home on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and then part of Sunday. We're going to have a couple of people, a couple that we met doing the channel. And then the husband is the moderator, one of the moderators for the live chats on my streams, and his wife. And we've met face to face on the cruise, and we've met at Dice Tower West, and we've met at Dice Tower East. They actually live there in the Orlando area. So they are great people, and Tom and I hit it off, and then Maribeth and my wife have hit it off as well. So it's just really cool. They're going to be traveling up here on a vacation, and they're going to be stopping in for a couple of days. So that's going to be cool. And it just turns out that when they're going to be here, we're hosting 2 board game events. We've got one on Monday night at Steamers West, and then we've got one on Saturday afternoon and evening at the church. So it's going to be one of those things where it's going to be a board game filled evening with, or weekend with friends and family, and we're looking forward to it. We're going to have a blast. So that's kind of the context that we're in right now. What about you, bud?
Yeah, like I said, just got back from Dice Tower East. Mm-hmm. Which is in Orlando every year. They have it over the July 4th holiday. And, I completely forgot it was even July 4th. Like, I really don't do a whole lot of holidays and stuff. And I didn't even remember until we were at a restaurant. They had like a little table tent or whatever that said, hey, July 4th special. I was like, oh, that's right. It is July 4th. I totally forgot about it. So I didn't see any fireworks or anything like that. But yeah, it was at Dice Tower East this past week in Orlando. They had about 2,000 people, which I think was their highest number so far for Dice Tower East, actually. Um, and yeah, got to play a lot of good games, saw a lot of good people, all the Dice Tower crew, of course. And yeah, I had a good time. Went with Dave, who I run Dice Tower West with here in Vegas. Played a lot of old games, a lot of new games, taught some games, and yeah, it was good. It was good to get and play some games.
Leading into that, tell us more about your experience with Dice Tower East then, because you're the head of Dice Tower West. So what is it? What kind of things do you do when you're not running the convention?
Well, I get to hang out, which is nice. To talk to people and just relax because, like one of the highlights, I guess, was like there's two volunteers we had for years. They were actually our supervisors. We called them, shift leaders and stuff. Jacob and Cassie, and they were volunteering. They were called lieutenants, I think they call them at Dice Tower East. And I've never actually sort of hung out with them or got to just spend time with them. And here at Dice Tower East, I was able to actually just sit down and talk to them for about a half hour, 45 minutes one night. And then another day, actually had to play a game with them. So that's something I had to do because, both because they probably see me in a different light, because when I'm at the convention, I'm just, working at Dice Tower West and I can't be, and you know what I mean when I say this, I can't be nice and I can't be friendly because I'm working. I don't have, you know what I mean? But here, I had no obligations. I had nothing to do. So it was just good to see that and to just hang out with people like that. And also other people too. And it's so surprising when I play games with people and they don't say anything the whole time. And then when we get up and it's like, oh guys, thanks for the games and everything. And they're like, oh Tim, thank you for Dice Tower West, or I'll see you in Dice Tower West. And they kind of know who I am and stuff. So it's nice to know that there's a lot of crossover with people going to the different events and things like that. And there are some like real Dice Tower fanatics, I'm sure who go to everything, right? They go to all the events every year. Their sort of year is planned around it. So you get to see them and talk to them because you see them at all the events and stuff. But yeah, it's really nice. I mean, the community around the Dice Tower at all the events or even on channel and all that kind of stuff, what Tom has fostered over the years, it's just a good group of people, very, very just good people, gamers, polite, just nice. And it's very enjoyable, very enjoyable.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with that. One of the things that I think they've done the best is they've fostered that core group of community. And the reason I use that word core is because you're always going to have the larger you get, the more you grow, you're always going to have, other parts of the community bleed into it that you weren't necessarily expecting to. But that core community, the people who are there and have been there for a long time, they're a really, really nice group of people.
Yep.
It's not, and that's kind of I don't know, that's kind of a cop out word, the word nice. Everybody's nice,
Right. No, I know what you mean.
That's not what I mean. It's like these are the kinds of this is the group of people, or it's a kind of group of people that I'm comfortable bringing my entire family into that community.
Right.
Not just me. I can go into something and feel safe but that idea and that feeling gets flipped on its head when you bring into it my wife, my kids. Even though my kids are teenagers now, I still have that feeling of comfort. I can take my three kids, and not all three kids play games on the same levels. One of them, he could never play a board game again, I think, and he'd be absolutely fine with it. The other two are hit or miss,
Right.
And so it's one of those things. But I feel comfortable bringing my entire family to these conventions because that core community that's there, I have an overwhelming feeling that my kids and my wife are going to be safe, whether I'm with them or not.
Yes.
And to me, that's an important thing. I wouldn't feel the same way at a Gen Con. I wouldn't feel the same way at a PAX Unplugged.
Mhm.
And I think that's more of where those two are partially, but also on top of that, there's a lot of people at PAX and there's a lot of people at Gen Con. I don't know where you're from. And, I could say the same thing about Dice Tower East and West, but at least there's the feeling of that core community. It's a positive vibe. And
Yeah.
it's not one of those things where you just don't know. You don't know. I'm not being naive. There's just a difference.
Yeah. And also this event out of all four, of the Dice Tower events, has by far the most kids in the family.
Yeah.
Because, we don't even sell kids badges at Dice Tower West. The cruise, I don't really know what the badges are. And the retreat, I think Tom has it at 18 over even maybe or whatever. The retreat is, I think, strictly adults.
Yeah, the retreat is definitely an outlier in that way. I think there might seem like there's fewer kids on the cruise because they're out doing other things.
Correct. It could be. Yes, absolutely. So yeah, there's a different feel in that aspect as far as the type of general crowd at Dice Tower East. But yeah, so I got to, let me see, I got to play, they got some hot games. One of the highlights of the games I played, this is so weird to say. It's a game called Toy Battle. Have you heard of that one?
I have it sitting right over there. Yeah, we got it. I got it at Origins as part of a gift package that from an Asmodee event that I went to. And the guy, and I can't remember his name now, I want to say Jeff, the marketing manager, he said that they put it up on Board Game Arena. And before they released it, they had I think he said over 200,000 plays on it already.
Yeah, it's even when because it was Stefan from Asmodee, he was explaining it to me and he showed it to me. I got to play with him. As he was explaining it, I'm like, oh, this is Stratego, right? Like how he was saying you have to go, but instead of the things where just you can see the values and the powers or whatever, they're just face up, and that was the play. The special abilities trying to create the path, and I was just. In the reason, it's one of those kind of things where it's one of those kind of games. Yeah, it's sort of a very light game. It's probably ages 8 and up. You know what I mean?
Sure.
As far as the gameplay, 2-person, simple, light, quick. But it really just brought back memories for me. You know what I mean? Because my dad and I, we used to play the crap out of Stratego. I mean, we played Stratego to death, and it just really gave me that same kind of feeling. So that was really really quite a surprise, because if he hadn't offered or said to me, hey, have you played Toy Battle, or I should show you this, I would have never played it. You know what I mean? I would have just, because the name Toy Battle, why am I going to sit at a game called Toy Battle?
Oh yes, not Timothy. No, I will not play with toys.
Exactly. I'll admit it. That's my snob, but yeah, I wouldn't have done it. So that was quite surprising. I played Through the Desert for the first time.
First
time ever.
Wow.
Played Through the Desert.
Okay.
That was very enjoyable. Again, a very light, good, just a good game, right? Just a good, solid game.
Did you? Okay, all right. So I misheard you. It sounded like you say it wasn't enjoyable, but then you said it was a good, solid game. So I misheard you. Okay.
Yeah,
cool.
Yeah, good, solid game. So I got to do that.
Did you have the urge to eat any of the camels?
Eat the camels?
Yeah.
Why?
They look like candy. The urge
to do that.
They look like candy.
You're weird.
Come on, yeah, they look like candy, man. You know this.
That never entered my mind, Sam. I never looked at one of the camels and said, I should drop that in my mouth. It looks appetizing. I just never crossed my mind.
They look like little camel-shaped Smarties. That's what they look like.
Oh, okay. Well, okay. But that was fun. That was good to do that. And I'm trying to think. I played Galactic Cruise. I got to show some people Galactic Cruise.
Okay,
I played it because I just love that game. Played a couple of oldies. Again, one of the ones that I pulled out, I got to play. that I'm going to buy now. This is the first time I've actually seen this edition of the game. Was the Renegade 60th anniversary of Acquire.
Oh, I just saw that in the store a couple days ago.
Oh, Sam, they did such a good job. Because what is it? It's like the 1992 or 94 version that has the buildings. That's the highly collectible one. But this one, but even that version has the paper money still, I believe.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah.
Renegade made chips. They made the buildings. They did a great job with that copy. But regardless of the aesthetics, which is a big selling point because it's just beautiful, the chips feel nice, all that kind of stuff. Acquire is just such a good game. It's just fantastic. And it's one of those kind of games that unfortunately I don't get to the table enough. Right? I should. It's just so good. So I'm really glad I got that to the table again. Played a couple comfort games like Castles of Burgundy, Concordia, getting those to the table. PAX Premier. It's funny. I found this lovely group of engineers out of Dallas. Got to play PAX Premier with, and they were like three guys, and they were like the whole time I'm playing it, I'm like, oh man, I wish I could be in their gaming group. You know what I mean? They were just really, really nice guys, really lovely guys. I'm just like, it's like I would love to play games with these guys every week. You know what I mean? They were just really, really nice. But we played PAX Premier, had like one of these strange wind conditions after about an hour and 15 or whatever. And the guy who won was like, I want to play again. I don't really feel satisfied. I don't like the blah, blah, blah. You guys want to play? You want to play? Yes, let's do it again. So we played right back again, played another game of PAX Premier back to back. And I just really, really like that game. So
PAX Premier is a long game, isn't it?
Yeah, yes and no. Not really. Yes, because it's dynamic, right? Because there are weird win conditions. If somebody is 4 points ahead of everybody else, they can win automatically, and this or that. So, just certain kind of triggers can shorten or lengthen the game if two dominance checks come up at the same time. It's just weird. And we had a weird first game. That's why
they have to announce that they're about to get 4 points ahead of everybody.
They do not. You don't know because you don't know until you have to do a dominance check, right?
Oh,
I mean, you can kind of see because it's who has the majority in the ruling party or whatever has the majority. You can get 5 points, or right, and some of you get 3, or if the dominance check fails, it's like a 3-1 and all this kind of stuff. So there's certain factors and all this. But if any point you get 4 points ahead of everybody else, then the game just ends.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's really good. Yeah, and I don't. I'm one of those kind of people. I don't know about you, but I didn't see any of the shows. I just don't go to shows. Kind of at conventions.
Wow, that's weird. I was just thinking to ask you that question.
Really? Yeah, and I can't report on those because I just don't. I like to play games. I don't really go and sit down at shows at board game conventions.
No. Okay.
But I got to hang out with Alex. Had a nice long talk with him. He did a show with Meg. Alex from Board Game Co. Yep. So I haven't seen him in a while. So we went out, had a cup of coffee, got to spend some time with him, which was very nice. I didn't do I just play games, right? When I have that opportunity. So I didn't do paint and take. They had the paint and take room. They had kind of like a prototype area. I spent some time in the prototype area got to play some prototypes, which was nice. That was good from the company that I'm with, Play to Z, and also from Azuni, a couple games from theirs.
Any standouts?
Yeah, the games that we're releasing in 2027 from Play to Z was very nice. It was like a civilization card building game, drafting. I really enjoyed that. The one that's going to be the can release, I think, from I forgot which company in Azuni that Stefan showed me. By Johan Levette, actually. He did like Touring Machine and a couple others. Very nice guy.
Okay.
That was a good one. So yeah, I got to really just play some good games. It was really good. But Sam, you live there. You lived in Florida. Yep. And I'm in Texas. I mean, I'm in Vegas.
See, you're showing your true colors there, buddy. You're in Vegas, but you know where you want to live.
Yes. No. No.
All right. So where are you going? So I'm from Texas. You're from Vegas.
I'm from New England. That's right.
Well, you're living in Vegas. That's what I mean. That's
Vegas, right.
Where we're living right now. We're from. So, what were you about to go with Florida?
No, the humidity. It's just.
I knew it.
Man, it's I lived there for 15 years, right? I lived down in South Florida in Pembroke Pines, like West Hollywood over there,
Yeah.
and
Oh,
I'm
you were.
way over that.
When did you live there? Because that's just like north of where we used to live.
I know Homestead's quite a bit of ways, right? I mean, you got to
Sure.
go down on Keys, but yeah, I lived there from I got there in probably about I want to say maybe 89, 90, and lived
Mm,
there till about 2000. We moved. Well, I lived in England for a few years. We still had our house in Florida, but we left Florida, sold our house, and left Florida in like 2006. So about
wow.
15 years lived down
Yeah.
there.
It's about 4 years before I got down there. So that's interesting. Yeah. I don't know what it is, but people who live in Florida swear by the weather,
Oh,
and it's like, are you nuts?
yeah.
It is so uncomfortable down there 80% of the year. It's like hot,
Yep.
sticky, wet mess
Yes.
80% of the time.
Yes. You're preaching to the choir.
I wait up here in the Pacific Northwest. I wait until we have a huge dump of snow. Then
Uh-huh.
I go outside and I take pictures of the snow, and I take pictures of me shoveling the snow. Well, I haven't done that, but I take pictures of that the snow has been shoveled. And then I put hashtag still better than Florida weather, because I will shovel sidewalks until I am red in the face and have a
Uh-huh.
heart attack before I make the choice willfully and without any other, things making me do it, to live in Florida again because of the weather
Yes.
only.
Yep.
Oh my goodness. I can't stand humidity. I mean, it's hot right now. We're about to go into about a week and a half where it's going to be straight 90s or higher for the next week and a half, and it's going to be hot. But it's one of those things. It's a little catchphrase. It's a dry heat, and that makes such a big
Oh,
difference.
100%. I mean, it was 108 here yesterday, I think, something like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
And yeah, and huge difference. I'm totally over that humidity
I
and just
I grew up in the Gulf of on the Gulf
Mhm.
Coast,
Right.
Mississippi, Alabama, and Florida. The larger part of my life was spent in those places. I would walk outside sometimes and literally feel like I had syrup on my arms. I'm not joking.
Yeah.
I'm not overstating it or anything. I would be like, and it was like that, a scene from Aliens where it just kind of, there's strings, there's, cheese strings. It's like nasty. I don't understand how people, if you live down there and you love it, fine and dandy. I just don't, when they defend the weather,
Yeah.
hurricanes, I'm sorry.
Oh, and
No.
that's when my wife actually had it. There was one year, I think it was 2004, when,
Mhm.
they got hit with 4 in Florida. They had 2 in the East, and then 2 came around from the Gulf, and, yeah,
Mhm.
she was like, "That's it," like, yeah, because that's when I was over in England, and she had to do the house herself and everything, and so, yeah, nah, Florida, done with Florida. But besides that, overall overall,
Oh.
it was just overall, it was just good to be down there,
Mhm.
um, and, yeah, had some fun looking to the next event, which is gonna be the retreat coming up, early
Yeah.
September.
Mhm.
Um, so looking forward to that. But now I got some time off getting ready for Dice Tower West.
Yep, that's awesome. That is very cool. All right, so we talked about some games, but let's do a couple of games each of us that we've been playing recently,
Yeah.
and we'll start. I'll start with me.
Okay.
I just reviewed today. It's going up today, but I just reviewed a game called Ichor, and Ichor, Ichor, is a new game from Bitewing Games, and it is a re-implementation of an older game called Battle for Olympus. It's designed by Reiner
2-player
Knizia.
game.
Yeah, and it's a 2-player asymmetric strategy game. And it's really simple as far as mechanisms are concerned. All you're trying to do is move your people in orthogonally straight lines from wherever they are, and you get to leave your tokens behind, which is representing control for Mount Olympus. And the first person to get all of their tokens onto the board becomes the winner. They will tally how many of their opponent's tokens are not on the board, and then you switch places and play another game, and then whoever has the highest points at the end of those 2 games is the winner. I think one of the main reasons why they have that switch where you have to play 2 games is because the 2 sides are very asymmetric. You have 8 gods in the base game against 8 monsters in the base game, and that represents 16 different powers. And so because the sides are so asymmetric, you kind of, according to the rules and for balancing rules and all of that other kind of stuff, you have to play 2 games because one side will sometimes be overpowered compared to the other side. Right. So you have to do that switch. But my wife and I have found that we don't really care that much, I guess. We just enjoy playing the game. And so we don't always play two games each, or I'm sorry, 1 game each before we decide who's the winner is. But it's really, really fun. The base components are good. It comes with wooden tokens for all of the monsters and gods, and then it comes with cardboard standees for the retail version. I bought the deluxe version, which is acrylic standees. I have some of them out here, right here. But this is what the acrylic standees look like. And they're a lot nicer than the cardboard. And then the tokens are kind of a plasticky mold and not just the wooden discs. The wooden discs look like that.
Right.
That's what the wooden discs. So it's like crokinole discs, but a little bit smaller than that, not as thick. But the deluxe components are really nice. And the only thing that I didn't like about it was it came with a cloth playmat.
Okay.
Like burlap sack cloth playmat, not burlap. It's much thinner than burlap, and I am just not a fan of cloth playmats, like hardly at all. There's the creases stay in it. Because the standees are not that heavy, the standees can fall over. Cards don't lay flat. That kind of stuff. It's a minor nitpick. Everything else is so nice that I really kind of give it a pass. But on the cloth playmat, but I wish it would have had a mounted board in it. But I mean, other than that one little nitpick, I really enjoyed the game. My wife enjoyed it as well. We're looking forward to keeping it in our collection and playing it on and off for the foreseeable future. We really enjoyed it. It's got a really good graphic design and artwork as well. So it's very aesthetically pleasing, but it's also a good game.
Yeah, I remember that's the whatever series that was it Mayfair? Whatever they had, it said 2-player game on it.
Fight for Olympus is Mayfair. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is
okay.
not that.
I'm mixing up the 2 then. Okay.
Yeah. I had to look for it. Yeah. I understand. But yeah, this is Fight for Olympus was from Lookout and Mayfair Games. And that's it says 4 2-players on the bottom.
Yeah,
of the
that
box.
was their
That's what you were remembering. But yeah, no, this is not that. This is a different one from Nestor Games. Again, it's always been a Reiner Knizia design, but it's just a reimplementation of that, and it looks much better than the original.
Very nice. Yeah, I'll have to get that one to the table. Well, the game I played, I have a regular gaming group on Tuesday nights. One of the groups I play, I'm trying to get up to 6 a week.
Ooh, 6 game nights a week?
I'm trying. I just want to play a game. And I played with my friends on a Monday in another game group. I introduced them, and it's a game I haven't brought out in a while. oldie but goodie from 2007 that I really, really enjoy, and that was Thurn and Taxis.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's a
and
great game, dude.
it really, really is. The people I showed it to last night enjoyed it. People I showed it to on Sunday or Monday enjoyed it. It's you're building routes. You're a postmaster. You know that's what it is, and you're building
German
routes
postal system. Yep.
in Germany, and it's and one of my friends said last night he like because the two rules are you must draw a card, you must play a card. That's it,
Yep.
and then you have like a couple of optional things you can do. But like he was like any rule, any game that those are the two rules, I'm in because it's straightforward. It's just
Yeah.
you have to do this, have to do that, and whatever. Um, and yeah, I'm not going to go into a whole bunch of detail, but I think it might even have been a Spiel winner or something way back in the day by Andreas Seyfarth, the same designer of Puerto Rico. And it's really good. It has a little bit of a push your luck element because when you're laying down your routes, you got to decide whether you take it now or wait, and you may not get a card to play because it doesn't fit in. And it's just it's very, very enjoyable, and it's one of those kind of games that's age 10 and up. So it doesn't take a lot to get into. I think it's very intuitive. The people I've taught it to just picked it up really quick. It's very simple. Like I said, you draw a card, play a card. Not much to it. So yeah, if you have a chance, if anybody has a chance out there to pick up and play Thurn and Taxis, but it's one of those kind of things that gamers will understand what I'm saying. And I think you do too, Sam. It does feel old, right? Those games from 20 years ago now, almost or whatever, they do feel old, and that's not a bad thing,
No.
right? Because it's still very streamlined, still very clean. But when you're playing it, you're like, yes, you can definitely see it came from that era.
Yeah. No, they all have a look about them, right?
A look and a feel, yes, yeah.
Yes, and a feel. What was prevalent in game design back then is very palpable whenever you're playing one of those games. But they also have that graphic design, the artwork, everything kind of all feels the same. Like everybody was using the same group of graphic designers and artists.
And they probably were, right? I mean,
yeah, pretty close. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, no, I've always enjoyed I've always called it Turn in Taxis, but I know I'm probably pronouncing it improperly, but that's just the way I've always felt strange calling it Thurn in Texas. I've always called that. That's always so. I just say Turn. But yeah, I've enjoyed that game for. Did you play with the expansion, Glory to Rome? Or
no,
or
I have. There's 3 of them, and I have them all. 2 of them are actually like sort of real expansions. I think printed on like the same color glossy paper, and I have a third one as well that seems like it was like a Gen Con promotion expansion or something. I don't know.
Gotcha.
But yes, I do have those, and I haven't played those yet.
Okay. All right. That's cool. No, it's a great game. It also has one of those like super eccentric themes. There aren't too many games out there about the German postal system. So, or even even further, the beginnings of the German postal system. So, that's a good one.
Yeah, and the one last thing I just want to say about it real quick.
Yeah.
The thing I like that I think is real intriguing about it is during the gameplay is you have these 4 officials that are just sort of there, right? And you have the ability to what we call invoke them, an official to use its special ability. So it's just I just find that very intriguing where like these just 4 special powers are out there for everybody on their turn to sort of use at their whim. If you can use one of them, on your turn. But I think that's really cool that those abilities are just sitting there to help to aid you in the certain aspects of the game. So I just wanted to mention that.
They're not limited either. It's like if one person uses it, it doesn't matter.
Right? They're just sitting there. So on everybody's turn, you got those 4. And real quick, what they are is you get to either draw 2 cards, play 2 cards, wipe the board clean, or you get to add a virtual carriage to your route. So that's it. But it's just nice. I'm sorry.
and anybody can use them on their turn. It's not like once one person uses it, it's gone. They're
Nope,
always
all on your turn. All 4 officials are sitting there waiting to be summoned.
Yep. That's
Yeah.
cool. I like that. That's a really cool shout out. I like games that are that old that still feel, even though you can feel their age, they still have that relevance to them.
Absolutely.
It's not like they're obsolete now.
No, not even close.
So
Not even
that's
close.
really cool. That's really cool. Let's see. What am I going to talk about? Well, might as well. I talked about iCore. Might as well just. This episode is sponsored by. No, I'm just kidding. It's not sponsored by anything. Well, just staying on that Bitewing Games kick. We have also played Iliad, which is a new title from Reiner Knizia, not a reimplementation, that Bitewing Games has put out. And this is it's also a 2-player game. And it's also a strategy game, but it's not asymmetric because both players have the same number of tiles and the same thing on those tiles in their bag. And you're trying to put out your tiles in such a way that rows and columns will have I did that backwards, didn't I? Columns and rows will have you'll have the greatest power in those columns and rows when they score. A column or row will score when all of the spaces in that column or row are occupied by a tile. Then when that happens, no matter whose turn it is, you'll tally how much power you have in that row or column, compare it to how much power your opponent has, and whoever has the highest gets to choose the points token that is on the one side or the other of it, and then the other person gets the other one. There are negative point tokens. There are positive point tokens and all of that kind of stuff. So there's also some special power tokens that are in there that allow you to do certain things. But it's the game's over basically when both players have put all of their tokens onto the board. And it's a grid, so there's a finite number of spaces you can put your stuff out on. And it's one of those games where it's like how you play the game is super easy. You're just putting out a token, and there's just a couple of restrictions. You have to place it in an area that is your color. So it looks kind of like a checkerboard that way, or a chessboard. So you can always only ever put your pieces in a color area that matches your color, but you have to place it next to a rival's person. You can't just put it out by itself somewhere. So you always have to be adjacent to something else, but you can only put it in a color that matches your color. And it was interesting. We need to play it more. We've only played it once so far, and we need to play it more to see how we fall on it. But I thought it was going to be a blowout, but the point totals actually worked out to be only about 5 or 6 away from the other. I won, but my wife thought she was going to get blown out, and it wasn't. It was actually pretty close, which I found interesting. So we want to play it some more, but we're enjoying it so far. Again, Bitewing, they have this cloth mat affiliation right now, and I'm not liking that about Bitewing games. Both of these games, both iCore and Iliad, have cloth mats in them, and I'm like, But all of the other components are cool, so we'll see. But we enjoyed Iliad. We had a good time with it. We just need to play it more to see where we really fall on it. But go check it out if you can.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it's one of those kind of things. Again, Reiner Knizia.
Exactly. Yeah.
80% right that it's going to be good, solid game. So
exactly, and it's one of those things where it's a Reiner Knizia design. So it's like he is like the master of simple mechanisms.
Yep.
Ratcheted up to their nth degree, but they're still simple.
Yep.
And that's one of the things we like about it. But again, that 80-20 split is pretty spot on. It's probably going to be a good game.
Yep.
But whether or not you like it or not is 80-20 split chance.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah. No, I'll have to get that to the table because again, Reiner Knizia. Got to at least give it a try.
Absolutely.
So yeah, the other one I'm talking about, again, I played last night. Another oldie. I say oldie, right? In board gaming. It's
Last year.
I know, right? But that was that's Tammany Hall. And
Oh,
yes, and I'm not going to
nice.
use that 4-letter word for this game. You know what word I'm talking about with the heavy aggressive player interaction.
Oh, it's mean?
That's a 4-letter word, Sam. Don't say it.
Mean
But yeah, it really, really is
mean. Yep, you're right.
heavy. But that's the game, right? Because thematically, what it is it's New York, Tammany Hall, and it's back about corruption and bribes and political favors, and with the 4 major ethnic groups in the borough. I forgot which borough it is down there, but there were the Germans, Italians, Germans, Italians, English, and Irish. German, Italian, English, and Irish. And about how you have more favor with the political groups, and the police chief is corrupt, and and that's what you have to do. You have to make deals, you have to backstab, you have to swindle, you have to talk, you have to negotiate. The theme of the game is there are 4 terms, and a term is like the length of a political office, and each term has 4 years. So you basically get 16 turns, right? And it's so good.
Just say it. It's mean.
No, yeah. No, I'm not going to say it. That's a bad word.
Aggressive negotiations.
Yes. Yeah, aggressive player interaction, aggressive. And again, it's one of those kind of things where, I'm just giving people that fair warning right off the bat. If that is not something you enjoy, if that's not something you like, if that's not something you can appreciate for the game, then don't even go near this game, because it's just 100% not for you. You have to go into it. And again, it's one of those kind of things where when it's built into the game, you have to understand, if you make a deal with somebody and 10 minutes later you break the deal, you can't get mad. That's part of the game. I mean, that's
I can see people get mad.
right. But I mean, you have to understand that potentially, yeah, you're right. I did say that 10 minutes ago. Now I'm not holding up to it. You just, that's right, because that's what this game is about, and that's how it was back then, like corruption, bribes, all that kind of stuff. And it's very well designed. It's very well designed. The gameplay is good. However, it is one of those kind of games where the first 4 years are kind of blah, right? Because there's really nothing going on. You're sort of setting up, and then it's one of those kind of games that really ramps up sort of the AP towards the later years, because you really have to, when on your turn, you're like, oh, because if I go there, I have to wait to here and do that, and can eat. So that's another sort of I don't want to say warning, but information I want to pass along too, that it does get real sort of towards the end of the game. You're taking your time, because you got a lot of factors to think about, and the points are tight. I mean, I think the guy who won had 23 points, and then the second, third, and fourth players all had like 18, 17, 16 or something like that. So, it's really, but yeah, it's very, very enjoyable. And I will again give that warning: heavy, aggressive player interaction.
Let me just translate for all you people out there.
Don't say it, Sam. Don't say it.
Mean game. You got to know going into it that you're going to get your back stabbed.
Yes.
Or you're going to be the backstabber. One of those things that comes into the AP in the later turns is, do I value my friendship with this person more than winning this game? That's one of the things you got to think about.
Yeah, but anybody who does like those type of games, then this is right up your alley. Very enjoyable, and it's a very under the radar game that you don't hear people talk about it all, right?
Well, I think it's because of the nature of the game. It's very polarizing. Either you love it, I think, or you hate it. When I played it, it was years ago, but I enjoyed it for the historical value of it because you don't have a whole lot of games out there that are U.S. themed that have a strong Irish element to it,
Mhm.
and I have an Irish heritage, but so that was appealing to me, and I was very much I very much enjoyed my play of it because of that. But because of the nature of the game, where you kind of have to I can't find another word for it. You have to be mean in
Mhm.
order to play the game well. And it's not I don't see it as I don't think it's a four-letter word like you do, but and I know you're being tongue in cheek, but the idea is that just like with TI4, there are some goals in the game where you have to literally throw any alliances that you've had straight out the window because unless you attack your neighbor, you're not going to be able to accomplish these goals. And the first person to get 10 points is the winner. And this goal might be worth 2 of those 10. And it's like you have to do something mean that you probably normally wouldn't do in order to score those points. And I think Tammany Hall is probably in that same thing. In order to get ahead, in order to win, you have to do things that are aggressive. There, see, I didn't use it.
You did it. And again, let me just sort of clarify, so people understand why I just really don't like that word mean, because you sort of just spelled it out with what you just said. To me, mean is nefarious, or I can't think, like in
Yes.
malicious. You have a bad
Yes.
intent. But
Yes.
if you have to do something because that is built in, baked into the game, part of the game in order
Mhm.
to advance your game. I just don't like a sort of bad, nefarious, malicious word being associated with that because that's not the intent. It's you are doing what's best for your gameplay, right?
Right.
So in no way at all is it mean. I mean, I understand how people use that word, why they say it, but it's not. It's just part of the game. The game forces you to make these sort of plays because that's how you have to, you know, the goal that most games is to win,
And
right?
it's super thematic, especially in Tammany Hall's
Yes,
respect.
yes.
It's super thematic, and that's why they do it. I totally get that. Most of the reason why I'm using the word mean is just to get under your skin. So but yeah, no, it is a very aggressive style of gameplay because it does force you to do things that you normally wouldn't do. So absolutely understood, and I think it's a great game. But I do think that part of the reason why it's overlooked is because it's just polarizing. That's
I
just my
I
opinion.
I would 100% agree on that for sure. I would, yes, I would. And it's also very, I would say, similar-ish to like El Grande in that same sort of aspect.
Mm,
Um with the kind of feel. It doesn't have as much as sort of backstabbing, but you do some of that switching people, moving stuff around in El Grande too. But it's they're if you like El Grande, you'll like Tammany Hall, and I think vice versa. If you like Tammany Hall, you'll really enjoy El Grande. To me, they both have that same sort of feel, and they both will definitely scratch that itch for people who like those type of games.
yeah, yeah, that's good. That's
Yeah,
good.
yeah, very good. So well, let me see. It is what is it? It's coming up on the first week of July, ending the first week of July. You got any plans coming up? Before we close?
No, I'm like I said earlier, we've got 2 game nights scheduled this weekend that we're hosting. One at Steamers West in here in downtown Wenatchee, and then one at our church on Sunday. I'm sorry, Saturday. Saturday is going to be from 3 to 9, and Steamers West is going to be from 5 to 9. And we will welcome anybody who hears this and you're within driving distance of Wenatchee. We have a lot of hotels and motels, and so there's plenty of places for you to stay overnight and get a couple of games in. This will be like a mini convention.
Oh, nice. Very good. Well, take
Really,
Sam.
it's two different,
You did,
it's two different things, but well, it'll be fun. That's all we got planned.
Nice. You just heard Sam. He opened up the invitation. So if you happen to be in that area, make it out there and play games with Sam.
That's right. Come on out.
Ask him for some heavy interaction games. Aggressive interaction games.
Aggressive.
Yes. All right, Sam. Well, as always, it was great talking to you. Great seeing you.
Absolutely.
I will see you next week. Have a wonderful rest of your week and a great weekend.
Yes, sir. You the same. Thanks for joining us, folks. Leave us a like and subscribe if you have not yet already done so. Leave us a comment. Let us know what you think about aggressive games. Did you see that? I was about to say mean, and I didn't. I said aggressive.
There you go. Yes. Well, folks, thank you so much. Again, I am Tim from Las Vegas.
I'm Sam from the Pacific Northwest.
All right. Bye, everybody. We'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching this video. If you like this review or whatever you just watched, wasn't it amazing? Check out our channel, Dice Tower. We have all kinds of things. We review games, we do top 10s, we play games live. It's all about board games, but especially the people who play them. Check out Dice Tower YouTube channel.